Welcome to the Create with Katrina Julia show by Fit Life Creation, where we talk all the things on wellness, faith, marketing, business, and travel to create a life and business you love. I've been there, friend. I've walked from fear to faith, self-hate to love, corporate to calling, and bondage to freedom, along with transformation in every area of my life. I'm right here with you, walking along on my own path to creating. So tune in so that you learn how to create a life and business you love, hands-on. Let's create it.
Are you ready to take your marketing like a boss with Black Friday and beyond? Keep listening to boost your Black Friday strategy with my fractional CMO and marketing A to Z free quiz. This free quiz will help you identify where you're at with your strategy, your structure, your systems, with your marketing, with Black Friday, with monetizing, and so much more. When you take the free quiz, I and the team will personally reach out to help you create it with resources. Definitely check out my YouTube video and the video in the show notes at Fractional CMO Like a Boss, so that you have me personally walking you through the quiz and insights and downloads. And you can get a free call with me if you are serious about having a fractional CMO work with you one-on-one for Black Friday and beyond to really take your business to the next level. So let's create it. What New York Times says about Black Friday. Black Friday 2023 is coming. Here's what you should expect this year. Shout out to Dan Kim, who wrote this article that I am referencing some highlights to share with all of you. No, hashtag this is not sponsored yet. I simply thought I would kick off what I shared in the last episode, as well as Black Friday and beyond, and the Black Friday toolkit that I'll be sharing coming up in an upcoming episode with some insights from New York Times. So, Black Friday has stirred from its yearly slumber. Like we saw in past years, what was once a single day sale now often starts in October. So, for example, you heard me talk about Black Friday already several episodes before. If you didn't yet listen to my 7-figure proposal days, definitely go back a couple episodes and on my blog at fitlifecreation.com/blog, where you can learn all about 7-figure proposals and how I already was talking about Black Friday and running my own pre-Black Friday promos with the fractional CMO, because I want to help you with running your Black Friday. So this tells me I'm spot on with doing things earlier. And so he talks about how it now starts in October and it's taken over November with Black Friday and Cyber Monday. No surprise there. So some of the things, and of course his article, and you can Google New York Times, Wirecutter, Dan Kim, or New York Times Black Friday 2023, and or I put literally in my Google Black Friday 2023, and it was like the fourth top story, the third or fourth article down. So I'm going to share several different trends in this episode. So stay tuned because it is going to be good. So one of the things he talks about is early sales with price guarantees. So seeing Black Friday deals before the Great Pumpkin arises often just feels wrong versus, these sales are already being promoted that better prices will probably be offered on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. But retailers are already, announcing different things. And this is typical, one thing, or if you haven't seen it before, Best Buy does early Black Friday deals for everyone event starting October 30th. And they offer what's called a holiday price match guarantee with a healthy list of exclusions. So, that is something that you could do, just like what I'm doing, just like what Best Buy is doing, do early Black Friday deals for everyone and start running them in October. Early bird gets the worm. You can also do what's called, a holiday price match guarantee, depending on what you're offering and or how you want to integrate a potential promo strategically. And you can always do exclusions and or you can always do a bonus. So one of the things I'm running within my promo is if you sign up for fractional CMO for 3 to 6 months, depending on which packages, as a brand and as a business and as a business owner, as a, CEO, and typically this is, going to be for CEOs that are well established, creator to CEOs that are well established in their business, well, then you get a choice of either a free month in the fractional CMO and or a global retreat included in that. That's a promo I haven't run ever before on anything. And what's interesting is earlier this week, I was part of the Worthy series with Mel Wells, and she ran a very similar type promo. And it was funny because she was saying, "Oh, this just came to me. It was, sporadic." And I just started laughing to myself because I was like, wow, talk about alignment, that clearly I'm being spot on with. Now I'm seeing another creator, another queen stepping in that's already, is also stepping into her power fully as a woman, as a wife, as a mom, also aligned to the same type of deal, because her deal was similar. It wasn't a fractional CMO, it was a Queendom program, and she was offering a retreat as well. So another thing that Dan talks about in his article is look for member only deals. So an increasing emerging trend this season is for paid member only promotion. So if you run a membership online, if you run a mastermind, if you run events, you can align certain deals, you can align, or certain discounts or certain prices, for members only. Like, for example, I'm running some events on Eventbrite online, and some of those are completely free. Some of those, to draw in more people, to draw in more awareness, and you can find that link in the Bitly and in online events as well. And then some of them are free if you're part of Create It Monthly. And then a shift or a strategy shift on some of the marketing is that I run it two ways. If you're part of Create It Monthly, you get certain live workshops for free, but then I'm also running the workshops at a higher price point on Eventbrite, on other platforms, and then you get Create It Monthly as a bonus for the month, and then you can choose to enroll in monthly. So my point of that is do not be afraid to run different deals, promos, strategies in different ways and A/B test, because you don't know what's going to resonate. But at the same time, I encourage and invite you to do member only deals, especially with a monthly type subscription, because that is going to incentivize people to jump in your subscription or your monthly mastermind, and is going to increase your average ADS. We talked about that a lot at Victoria's Secret when I worked there as a director right after grad school. And it's also going to increase your ARR, your average reoccurring revenue. That is often a term that is used with pitch decks, with financials, with setting up with investors, pitching investors. And speaking of, I will have an investor series coming up with Startup Engine. That is the platform that is advocated by Kevin O'Leary with Shark Tank. So stay tuned for that, because that is going to be coming up likely in November as well, to not only give you the behind the scenes on what I'm doing and create and how I create it, but also to help you create it and create it like a boss faster than ever. So in Dan Kim's New York Times article, he talks about how the value of a paid retailer membership is largely dependent on your shopping habits. Because obviously, it's like, let's take Amazon as an example, right? So If you're choosing to invest $14.99, a month with Amazon, well, you get streaming, you get free shipping. So clearly, and especially if you stream and or you order at least one or two things a month, it more than pays for itself. So I don't have a membership right now because I'm traveling the world, and I chose to not continue it because I'm purposely radically decreasing and have decreased my TV time astronomically and movie time, because I was tuning into a movie or two or more sometimes, especially if I didn't feel good, or especially during the winter season last year in Atlanta. And I made the conscious decision, and intentional and prayerful decision, to reduce that, to increase aligned product, aligned and productive time and purposeful time. So based on what he observed, as he was putting together this article, he said, unless you're a frequent shopper, programs like Walmart Plus, Best Buy Plus, My Best Buy Total won't ever be worth the cost. They either become more ubiquitous in the case of Walmart Plus, or offer better discounts in the case of Best Buy's paid program. There is an exception that he references, which I didn't even know. And this also gives me another strategy that I want to do. So if you haven't heard of Circle yet, Circle is amazing. It's a platform to essentially create an online community, and I'm part of several circles. For example, Atlanta Girl Gang and several others. And recently and excitedly, I actually got an opportunity to pitch Circle. So if you haven't heard of another incredible resource for you from a marketing aspect, and obviously if you didn't know anything yet, I am filled with them. It's one of my giftings, part of my purpose, to help you create and scale, to help over 1 million women entrepreneurs make over $100,000 to $1 million every single year in my lifetime. And also, it's a gifting I absolutely have from my mom. She loves to research, and she's absolutely instilled and brought that to me. And then I love to do it as well. And another resource that I recently discovered, which ties back to what I'm talking about with Circle, is Brands Meet Creators. So brandsmeetcreators.com. They're an incredible resource, have an incredible tips, tools, tech, resources. And through listening to their resources and several different webinars, signing up for their resources, I had an opportunity yesterday to pitch Circle, like the brand Circle. And they are looking to work with creators starting in January, I believe it was, on blogs, on shows, on other ongoing type marketing paid. And so I pitched them directly. And I had already been intentionally thinking about setting up a circle and circles via Kajabi, which is the marketing platform that I use for automated courses, freebies, etc., that you can also find in the link in the show notes when you visit my 75 plus tips, tools, and tech, and my freebies library. So going back to this, Target apparently has a circle, which New York Times considered valuable for casual shoppers because it's free with the Target account and it reliably generates solid deals, which makes sense because some of you may remember, different coupons with things like Macy's or Foley's. And in the New York Times article, he hyperlinked a article about our Target Red Card and Circle memberships worth it. And it goes into, in detail that, the red card for people that want to save money without thinking. And Red Card is Target's flagship program, which has been around for over a decade, and it requires you to either open a credit line or connect a bank account to a Target debit card, and you get a flat 5% off nearly all purchases and free 2-day shipping on most items. Hashtag not sponsored yet. Yes, I love me some Target. And then Target Circle is for people who love coupons. So it's also free to join. Think of it as the modern equivalent, and this is a direct quote, of a coupon booklet you'd get in the mail, but with ever-changing personalized coupons that are obviously driven, by your shopping habits. So that's some info there at a glance. So that's also something you could do. You could set up a circle and you could, set up different promos or special things, for free to draw people. And then also for actual direct members once they pay. So the deals you may expect, Black Friday sales and preceding, are likely to offer sales on a number of product categories like appliances, large and small. When I've moved or relocated in the past, whether it was to Oklahoma or to Atlanta, I purposely waited. So this is on a personal note. I purposely waited for Black Friday, you guys, to buy blenders, to buy dishes, to buy all kinds of things because they go on crazy sales. And I think, ended up investing over 60% less than what I would have if I bought the same things not on a Black Friday or a Cyber Monday. And I've also noticed, like, oftentimes things are even more amazing on a Cyber Monday. So another thing that he references, Dan Kim, in this article is segue to Apple. Again, not sponsored yet, but Apple, I am an avid Nike, Apple, Disney, Airbnb lover. And those are four of my dream brands. And I regularly pitch or reach out to them on different things. So New York Times via Wirecutter anticipates a no October 30th Apple event could unveil the M3 processor, paving the way for solid price drops on M1 and M2 MacBooks and iPads. So some other tidbits there for you. But then in comparison, some other retailers, and you may be in this camp, you may skip Black Friday and or Cyber Monday altogether. And that is perfectly okay. That's also perfectly okay. And in the past, Apple often has, but obviously they're shifting that strategy. Because if you didn't know, you guys, so two things. The majority of retail sales are made in Q4 of every year. One, I mean, billions of dollars. Two, and so people are programmed, in a sense, to hyper focus during that time, whether it's gifting and on a personal note. Two, I have worked in retail extensively, whether that's been as a director with Victoria's Secret, whether that was consulting on the NBC Apprentice on preseason 4 and working with Best Buy and several other retailers, and generating crazy results, whether that was Forever 21 and several other things throughout, 7+ industries in strategy, finance, marketing, operations. But I digress. Now, going back to, if you decide to skip, you're not alone. I talked about Apple. REI has committed to staying closed on Black Friday for good. So if you didn't know that, surprise, surprise. And instead they encourage employees and shoppers to spend time outdoors with its annual Opt Outside campaign. So immediately that also goes to me to say, ooh, wait a minute, that might be something great, because oftentimes I would never go to a Black Friday sale in person. But when Cyber Monday was rolled out, I was like, ooh, this is great. But if you align to that too, where you don't go to Black Friday, like I usually don't and haven't for years, then you may want to pitch REI to align to their Opt Outside, campaign, especially if you're an adventurer and a traveler like me. So Patagonia has also given up on Black Friday, encouraging shoppers to focus on repairing and reusing gear they already own. Okay. But you may also expect sales from both retailers leading up to Black Friday, and then REI, which I just mentioned, often offers Cyber Monday promos. So you may decide, depending if you're a brick and mortar or you have in-person events, you may decide to do something live on a Black Friday, or you may decide to lead up to a Cyber Monday, or you may decide to do something like what I'm choosing to do this year, that I'm doing like a pre-Black Friday with a fractional CMO to encourage and invite and create space for, to help others create it with, my being a fractional CMO for you. And then, as Black Friday comes around, I'm going to be running different retreat and co-living and contentcation promos. And I'm already reaching out to brands for that, as well as UGC and content creation and social media management. And then I'm going to be running different deals into Cyber Monday and the week after on Create It Monthly. So in essence, you have the freedom to co-create how you choose to, and you have the freedom to change it every, Black Friday or every, holiday, or however you choose to create it. Okay. So let's get back into now your marketing and Black Friday as iconic as Beyonce. So picture this: your marketing and Black Friday as iconic as Beyonce. This is me telling you, slay queen, slay, or slay king, slay. Get ready to slay with the fractional CMO like a boss to queen status with your marketing as iconic as Beyonce. So if you haven't seen the GIF yet where Beyonce's walking in like regal royalty outfit where she literally looks like a queen, I encourage you and invite you to Google that. If you're on my email list, you saw it, because it's in one of my emails. And if you're not on my email list, I definitely invite you to get on it. So fractional CMO is all about the creators to CEOs who crave creating community and cash to create it like a boss. And definitely check out my link in bio and take the free marketing quiz so that you can see how is your marketing. And then also check out my video on my YouTube channel on how is your marketing in 2023. It has over, I think, close to 3,000 views already. And where I walk you through the quiz, and it's the one where it's getting real and not Instagram real. So that way, you're on the right video. It's right at about half an hour of your time. So stay tuned for the next episode where I'm going to dive into some super helpful Black Friday resources, tips, tools, and tech that I have on the blog, on the show, and even more. And leave a review on the show, drop your IG handle and or your website, tag me on stories at Katrina Julia Fit, at Fit Life Creation. You will be entered into a monthly giveaway to win a spot for Create It Monthly. And as always, friends, remember, create, transform, and inspire. You are born to.
All the chats on faith, wellness, money, marketing, business, and travel, so you create a life and business you already. Head on over to the blog, the podcast, and the freebies to jumpstart your transformation. If you're ready to dive into the online courses, the live events, or the retreat, and if you want to create with our community on an even deeper level, definitely check out our internships, our influencer collaborations, management, and brand engagement. Let's create it.